Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to move on to Gold Blockchain Network from Mine to Malm. AI and blockchain transform the global industry. Please join me in welcoming Mr. V.V. Ravindra for a special presentation. With 25 patents and multiple companies in India and the US, V.V. Ravindra is a person of determination, AI, blockchain, and future tech specialist. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very glad to be here and very much overwhelmed with so many people from the gold industry. Basically, I'm an inventor and a technologist, but with so many people from the gold industry, it's my first time. Really fantastic, awesome to be here. And Ibmc has been a wonderful connection point, and Mr. Sajid and Anup have been seeing my innovation and technology. And so this particular opportunity given by them is really wonderful. I also want to thank my partners and team members, Mr. Manmohan, Venugopal, and Mr. Manish. So it's really wonderful to be here. Thank you very much. And I'll start with my quick presentation and an introduction. Hi, I'm Ravindra. I'm an entrepreneur, AI expert, happiness specialist, music composer, and I love to fly helicopters and also love to make people smile. I was affected by polio when I was 7 months old. Life was very complicated. I wanted to see the best in my life. I became an engineer. I built 5 startups. More than 3,000 employees worked with me. 25 patents, 30 awards, 5 countries of business, and recently 3 awards from Gramble. I've been frequenting to Dubai and I love this place for its accessibility. Inspired by all this, I created Amal mobility scooter, which is here. And this is an independent device for senior citizens, people of determination to move around. And they can visit malls, they can shop, and they can do a lot of things on their own without any assistance. Thank you. So we have been in this technology space, and some of the projects mainly are into 100% diabetes reversal. We are bringing this to UAE, and the world's first needleless vaccination. We can vaccinate anyone just with a simple patch, like you see here, and there is no pain, there is no any situation of cold storage, no need for any doctor or nurse. Anybody can just use it on their own. We also implemented a lot of work in education. We actually teach people of autism with our AI technology and also employ them. We give jobs for them, and enterprise blockchain, and also a very specific NFT for gold assets. This is what we do. And these are some of our patents into various sectors. And this is what we always wish for, that there should be showers of gold in everybody's life. So with this background, and in this great land of gold, we are presenting this technology which will cover right from the mine to the mall. So what are we doing here? Often I get this question that what is really AI? What is really blockchain? There are tons of definitions, millions of pages, okay? But in a very simple way, for easy consumption, in a blockchain, we cannot delete or cheat or hack the system, and data can only be appended. That means you are always 100% transparent and accountable, okay? And AI is almost like humans. We just train the system to do tasks for us. So here is the catch. If you train well, the system is good. If the system picks up something bad, the AI also gets those negative effects, okay? So this is the big thing that we were able to achieve. Get all stakeholders in the gold supply chain into a single blockchain. This was a very big feat. We did this with a lot of research, and we were able to right from the mine to the end user and very specific interface to add new kinds of users, okay? Because here is one thing I want to tell you. Most of the systems in the world sometimes fail because they are designed for one purpose, or they are designed with a certain assumptions while designing. We are creating a system which can learn by itself, which will understand the future needs, and then you will be able to configure and program. And this can happen right from whatever software you're already using. That was the main, area that we wanted to cover. And here is a Eureka movement from the leaders of this country. I have been to more than 45 countries, and I have settled in this country, okay? And very good news, I just got this today. I have been granted a golden visa, okay? And so happy here. And I'm completely independent in this country. I just move around, do a lot of stuff. So thanks to the way the accessibility and particularly happiness is implemented in this country. Everywhere you see happiness, and for that happiness, the real logic of how somebody can be happy is by figuring out the pain points and solve them. That's the only way we can make things happy and add value. So we took this as our vision when we were making this project. And then this is how we work. We have a fantastic technology and even better team who does things for us, and a very large data which comes from various sources. That is our training material. We have more than 50 years of data, and that data is what brings in wisdom, okay? So there are so many pain points we solved, but we want to address a few of them in the interest of time here. The first pain point, we all agree that we want to make this world a safe place by stopping all kinds of AML and any activity that leads to terrorism. So you would have experienced this. To just find out the KYC of anybody, it's a very tedious process. And it is not one time, because it keeps changing. You know, the company changes, the transactions changes, how do you track it? Okay? And when you collect data, for example, you are dealing with a particular mine in a different country. Most of their documents are in their language. Okay? How do you ensure that the trust factor develops? Okay? With this, with so much of disconnection, this is the biggest problem in trust. Okay? So what we did, very simple. We made AI bots. These bots, we will leave one to find miners, refineries, factories, importers. They can collect data from more than 10,000 websites and also translate in 150 languages. So just with one click of a button, you will know exactly the complete KYC of every stakeholder in your chain. And this is dynamic. It does it always. One fraudulent transaction anywhere, you can actually star that particular stakeholder. Okay? And it is completely flexible. You can put the data in any format and then use it for consumption. This is our first solution. And also, this is the last one is even better. Even before a transaction gets into fraudulent or a KYC is going to come up with a negative thing, you get an alert. And that alert is very important when you're doing large-scale transactions. Okay? The other one is the most frustrating thing. You have contracts, and each contract has so many KPIs, you just feel like breaking everything around. Okay? And so what we do, like this, you have different SLA terms, you have KPIs, you have changes, you have more versions of this contract, exactly like how this man is feeling now. So here is a simple solution. We combine blockchain, and convert every paper to a blockchain smart contract. Very simple. Once we do it, for example, when you do one transaction, if there is a penalty of 0.1% to be automatically calculated, that is there in some part of the SLA. But here it knows instantly what to do, because everything is digitally signed, and any change is automatically carried through. No need for a particular employee of the company to upload or change something, and the entire industry or the entire enterprise is depending on that. Everything is completely, automatic. And the best thing what we did was, we can't go to a company and say, your supply chain management software is outdated, throw it out, take a new one. Nobody would do that. That in the current situations, post-pandemic, infrastructure cost is too high. So what we do, you just keep whatever you have. We will find intelligent connectors to your system. These will automatically ensure that the data to blockchain is automatically taken out without any need for changing or intervening into the system, completely external. Okay? And here is the problem of end-to-end track and trace. Okay? Now this is what I was telling you about complicated systems which don't talk to each other. There's challenges in handling data, and then the data security. Every area there is a data security, because once you put it on blockchain, it cannot be hacked. It's very difficult, almost impossible in the current systems. This is what this country always, we are very fond of gold here. So we designed a gold passport, and this passport is for a material. You can actually take this for anything. You can just generate a unique ID. You can combine the data which is organized and disorganized data, just unify everything. For example, if I, in a simple language, I have a gold bangle with a micro dot. I'm able to scan that with my phone. I should be able to see the entire trace. This is what we want to do. We would come to any company, make sure that data is all organized and ready to, take on to a new world of experience with blockchain. And we are able to bring in a lot of hybrid integration. The reader, what you see on the barcode, is very limited. Okay? But we want to just use a mobile phone to capture the data, which gives extraordinary experience, like augmented reality and a micro.IoT experience, and highly flexible integration with legacy systems. This will ensure that every system is connected to the blockchain. And one of the most important fears that I hear whenever we give such presentations is, what will happen to my data? Is my customer data exposed? Because there's always competition between jewelers, take any stakeholder, there's a mutual competition. How do we ensure that? So we want to see that every data that is going to the cloud is anonymized with a token. And that way, your customer data, your transactions, the customers are completely secure. Okay? Only the data points which are required for the tokenization will be uploaded. So this is a very simple, secure system. And to bring it all, this approach, what we are doing is for the software to self-mold, self-learn, and actually make it better by itself. Okay? This is what we call it as the self-learning machine. Our claim is always on transparency, accountability, and to prevent manipulation. And also have this cost, efficiency, and performance improved. And definitely we want to make this world a better place, and also augment our leaders' vision in rendering happiness. And why we believe that in Dubai, we have 100% confidence of AI winning with blockchain? Answer is simple. It's already in the name. Okay? Dubai already has AI. So there can't be a better place to implement. Thank you very much. It was a short journey. Thank you. Thank you, wonderful. I'm open for questions.
We can take some questions from the audience. We have a mic. Are there any questions from the audience? I'm certain that there would be at this point. Yes, sir. In the back. Should I send this mic your way?
Actually, it's one of our previous projects, which basically, as you know, diabetes is one of the world's biggest problems, and we found a way to completely, cure that through a different technique. I would be happy to, discuss offline, as this is different project. Sure.
We have another question at the back.
Hello, hi. Thank you for the good presentation. Can you just tell us in a layman language this blockchain process, how it is defined in a very prescribed way to the end user?
Yeah. So let's take this. For example, if we are, making one simple Excel report and sending it to somebody, now the chances of manipulating or changing the Excel report and sending the other one, and this chain continues. Okay. So if at one point of time I want to really see all the versions of what was sent to me, is very difficult. Okay, unless I really get that into that macro consolidation. So in a blockchain, what happens is any number of times you modify, any number of times you append the data, I'm going to get the trace from the first transaction till the current transaction in a very simple way. Okay.
So technically it's a data management protection.
Yes, it is an extremely hyper-efficient way of protecting data, which brings in transparency. Because if we are digitally connected on a contract and I change something, you will know that immediately. And that's how we can bring a different kind of harmony between stakeholders.
Thank you.
We have another question from this gentleman in the front. Could you please bring the mic over to this gentleman in the front? Sir, would you stand up, please? Thank you.
Thanks. On the topic of traceability, just talking about blockchain, how would you, the same way as the cannabis industry has seed to sale, how would you look into using blockchain for traceability systems from the moment an ounce of gold is mined, let's say refined into a doré bar, all the way to the refining process, and potentially if we can already trace, from the moment of mining, and we know that this ounce of gold came from this mine at a specific time, then potentially that could remove the entire step of refining, because that's where the purpose of refining serves, right? Prove that that's what it is. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So what happens is, from the first unique ID that is generated from the mine and the journey of that particular bar of gold, till to the refinery, another ID could get updated, and in the factory where one particular bar is melted to make a number of ornaments. Now this is where the batch process will get added on, and to the last extent of one simple ornament created to carry the microdot. So in this area, each stakeholder has different identification numbers or different ways of representing the batch numbers and stuff like that. But the process is to unify all of them to the chain, to the blockchain, and ensure that each of these are tied well. It comes with a little effort. That's the reason we kept this to an external chain and also connect these IDs. So at some point of time, this is completely a private blockchain like Hyperledger. And whenever there is a public consumption, that goes into the public blockchain, like Ethereum. So here is what for regulators, for example, I'll just give you just an extended example. Let us assume that we give an interface to banks, because most of the times there is a lot of transaction that happens and the bank will finance them. Okay? Now, when we connect this well, when there are orders, automatically the bank gets an alert that 5 million order has been punched in, which means that they have to be ready with the working capital. So no need to go and then show your documents and get the loan. Already you are bringing the financier into a transparent system. So there are certain challenges in tying up all this, but yes, we have begun the journey, and definitely I think we'll be there.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ravindra. We appreciate your time today. And Mr. Sajith would like to give you a certificate of appreciation for participating.